Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge Podcast. My name is Josh. Today we're going to be talking about the sacconejolys and the ongoing craziness that is them exploiting their son, and I think just for views, and just found an algorithm and hit it, and it's just kind of gross what they're doing. Really not helping anybody, considering it's just not really a place to put awareness. And we're going to be reading from their fans on their Instagram, because at least he keeps it up for whatever reason. And we're going to go through a little bit of a video they did, just something simple, but something important as a father, talking to your kids about this type of thing, because this is, you know, the transgender issue is kind of a big deal, specifically for our kids who are being taught to accept and love and to just be there for everybody. But in my opinion, though, when it's fake and used for clout and money, I just definitely think that's kind of off. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. And so today's ball is from one of my Patreons, Julie Schmid. This one's for you. Yeah! Damn it! I'm getting better. It costs me like $35 every time I send someone a shirt. Anyway, Julie Schmid, if that is you, holla and I will hook you up with a shirt. Damn it! Let's get to it. Damn it! So first things first, I want to take a look at the Instagram for Jonathan Joly, which is, you know, this, and it obviously needs to be said, doesn't need to be said that every time he posts something about his kid being in, you know, dresses and things like that, that the comments and the likes explode, the algorithm hits. But what I started realizing is that a picture like this, which, you know, for someone who's struggling with gender roles, I feel like doing this is kind of a setback for gender roles and stereotypes, specifically if a kid is struggling with his or her, you know, identity, that putting them in like a Cinderella frock and having them clean as a girl probably isn't the best thing to do. I'm just looking at it from all angles, devil's advocate. Again, I've always said that if this is a true thing, then celebrate your kid, let them do what they're going to do, you know, within reason, be there, supportive, obviously. Always be supportive of your children, but at the same time, you have a responsibility to your kids not to exploit them and what they're going through. By the time that Eduardo gets old enough of age to be like a teenager or whatever that is, I think that there's going to be way more acceptance of transgenderism and everything else, because that's the kind of the way the world is going, regardless of what you believe. Just accepting people for who they are is definitely just kind of the path that we're on, which is a good path to be on, right? As long as it's not damaging to your children, as long as you're not pushing it on them, as long as you're not forcing it on them or telling them, because kids, we all know this, and so parental alienation and all that kind of stuff, kids are very susceptible to be shaped the way we want. And that's why someday I will do a video on, should we bring our kids to church or not? Should we force them to believe in God or not? Or whatever the case may be. And my argument is that no, you shouldn't force your kids to do anything. That let them be what they're going to be. But at the same time, when it comes to these types of issues, you get into really crazy medical scenarios where people are doing puberty blockers and all these types of things without allowing the kid to actually grow to a place. And so we can talk about that all day long. That's not really what this is about. This is from a fathering point of view, that if my child was struggling with identity issues, which I'm going to make the argument that Eduardo isn't, he just likes wearing dresses, but I think that Jonathan and his wife Anna are making a big deal out of this because it actually helps them, but they're going to say it doesn't. But in the end, all press is good press. Let's go through the comments. So he posted this picture of Eduardo with a broom, saying we hired a new cleaner to help during lockdown. And then someone left a comment, says, I honestly feel like he's doing this to please his dad. Yes, he clearly likes to dress up, but Eduardo is not capable of being aware that he's being exposed to the world for it. So, yeah. Although I love that Jonathan's trying to serve the cause of acceptability around the issue and helping other kids, I feel like they're not so odd for it. It's not ethical, since Eduardo cannot consent to it, period. We don't know what long-term complexes he might have over it. It's a risk I wouldn't take and compromise I wouldn't make. And that is a perfect comment. It's a risk that you're taking because maybe Eduardo just likes wearing dresses, and there's nothing wrong with that. In the end, though, I think that Jonathan is making it about the other thing, and not Eduardo. Jonathan is saying, well, he likes this, and so this must be it. And then not saying, doesn't understand his preferred pronouns and all these kind of things. I think Jonathan is pushing this on Eduardo. That's my argument. And that's what I think is a dangerous place to be in this world of people who want to virtue signal for political reasons or be in the forefront of, like, you know, the be on the right side of history, whatever it is. I've seen parents do this, and it's without beyond a shadow of a doubt that there's been parents who have fought in courts over this type of thing, where one parent wants their kid to do this thing and the other parent says just let them grow up and either grow out of it or make the choice when they're old enough to consent, all that kind of stuff. This does happen. If you don't think that parents push these ideologies on their children, you're wrong. Now, truly there are kids who are transgender, truly there are kids who have gender dysmorphia, truly there are kids who are confused about what assigned gender they were. Of course there is. I'm not saying there isn't, but I'm just saying when a parent is pushing it, especially out to social media, on a huge platform that they have for money and clout, that's where I have a problem with it. Because in the end, who's going to see this when he gets older? All of his peers, all of his friends, potential wives, dates, and all those kinds of things are going to see this. More questions. I have a question. Does he ask to wear this, or did you put it on him? He doesn't look very happy. I don't find it funny at all. Let Eduardo do what he wants. Don't humiliate him on social media. Anna said in a vlog the other day that he does consent to it. Now, if you want to go have a look at this vlog where I talked to Dr. Crook about, can a child consent? No. Can kids consent?
No. It's obvious that they cannot consent, particularly younger kids.
That's a doctor saying that, not me, saying they cannot consent. A child cannot give informed consent. And so you have to understand what informed consent means. And I have to keep saying this because this still has to be a conversation. A child does not understand the ramifications of a choice he or she will make when they are young because they can't cognitively understand the outcome. As an adult, we make decisions all the time, good or bad, but we can actually mull it over and say, okay, in 10 years down the road, what is this decision going to do for our family, right? In 5 years or tomorrow, if I make this bad choice right now, what's it going to do, right? If I make this good choice right now, like putting money away for my future, I can understand that in 20 years, I'll be able to retire. Okay, those types of things you can consent to make decisions that you can understand because your brain is developed to do that. A child will do whatever it takes to please their mom. If I went up to my daughter or my son right now and said, can you put this dress on for daddy so I can take Instagram pictures? He absolutely would. He doesn't know any better. But if you sat down with your child and said, I want to see if you consent to me doing this, you can't truly do that. And when you say that, you're lying because a kid cannot give informed consent. I don't know how many times I have to say it, but it's just the truth. That's why it's an unwinnable argument for these family vloggers. They don't want to touch it, okay? Asa Moss from Fathering Autism doesn't want to, and all his Leg Humper fans don't want to touch that topic. Is it okay to exploit a girl with autism who's nonverbal without her consent, right? And can she give informed consent? No. The answer is no. None of them can. And that's the basis of this whole argument for family vlogging. People are, he's too young to consent, he's too young to give consent, he's 6. You're not him, so you can't say. That's dumb. Don't say that then. It's a difficult one. It's good that they're supporting Eduardo's choices, but my sister wanted to be a boy at that age, even peed standing up. Oh. She grew up to be the girliest girl. These photos will be here forever, and Eduardo might not appreciate their parents' decision to post them. Exactly, right? It's the parents, here in the end, it's the parents' decision to post these, not Eduardo's choice, okay? They have a platform, a vlog. This is what they do to make money. They literally grow their Instagrams and their YouTube channel and their podcast to make money. That is their job. Everybody who stands up for these families, they just all of a sudden I forgot. But literally every piece of money that they bring into their family comes from them exploiting their family. That is one glaring thing that nobody wants to talk about. If they had different jobs where they brought in money and they did this as a hobby, as a side hustle, still wrong, but at the same time it's different. When everything is riding on the fact that you need to use your children for consent, look at the bench study, the Pew study, where they talked about anybody who uses their children in content gets 3 times the amount of views as anybody else. That is peer-reviewed research. Can't argue with it. So that's what I'm saying. These people need their children in these types of things to grow their platform. And it's coming to an end soon. They say a lot of people are saying he looks sick, but everybody's locked in and we all look sick, so I don't know about that. I doubt he's sick. You look at these pictures of him with the hair, then this new eyeshadow one, which be proud of who you are and not ashamed of how someone else sees you. The problem here is that even if your child is transgender or wants to be a girl, hey, don't put makeup on an 8-year-old. Can we just not normalize putting makeup on 8-year-olds and making that because if you think about this in the end, the fact that they're doing makeup and extensions and dresses and beautifying, it's all about the vlog life. It's really not about the transgender issue. It's all about like, well, okay, you want to be a girl now? Well, let's pile makeup on your face. This is how you're supposed to be a girl. They're actually teaching Eduardo that the way to be a girl is to find your acceptance and everything on Instagram and the way that you look and all that stuff, because they're all about, especially Anna, it's all about her looks. It's all about her. She's very self-centered, right? Louise tease. Eduardo's so lucky to have parents like you. No, I'm sorry. What they're doing to Eduardo can be done in private, doesn't have to be shared to the entire world. This is what makes everybody kind of really upset about this. Is the same thing when I'm going to cover, what's that kid's name? Desmond is amazing, and I have to do a whole video on Desmond is amazing. That is straight up child abuse, okay? No one will argue that it's not straight up. The only people who argue that it's okay to do that are people that are pushing this, transgender acceptance forward, which, they have an agenda, which is probably a true agenda, which is like accept us for who we are, and I get that, but you should never, ever, ever exploit kids to put any agenda forward. That shouldn't even need to be said, right? No matter how good or noble the cause is, and I know I made a joke last time about our life about saying, if an adopted family was going to use a kid and made millions and donate to adoption, I'd be okay with it. I was joking because I was trying to make the comparison that no family would do it because they all put the money in their pocket and go to Starbucks. So I might have said that wrong, but in the end, I'm telling you the truth. There's just never, ever, ever any reason whatsoever to exploit a child, no matter the cause. I'm playing The Last of Us 2, which is I thought it was gonna be a shitty game. It's really good. But the idea of The Last of Us, the game, is that Ellie she was the only one who was immune to the zombie bites, right? And in order to save the world, she would have had to be killed, right? And then Joel saved her, told her she wasn't, and then it was all about love, and in the end, can you kill someone to save the entire world? It's definitely a dilemma. But for what they're doing here is nothing like that. They're not bringing exposure to anything. They're just exploiting their child for views. And so I'm gonna bring up this video real quick.
Guys, do you like my little Polaroid thing I'm doing on Instagram?
It's a lot of chapstick.
Right, I thought it was really funny, people, because every time we do an Eduardo thing, right, people are always like, oh, you always do that, for the views and stuff like that, and it's like, if you look at the analytics, every time I post anything about Eduardo, right, expressing himself, I lose 1,000 subscribers.
Let's have a look, shall we? See? Okay, because I have his analytics right here in front of me. Can't show you the analytics or where I get them, but I have them here. You'll just have to trust me that I have them. So let's go to their YouTube first. And I want to thank you all for supporting me through buying these analytics because they were expensive, but they have done huge things for this cause. Absolutely. So about a month, they started really going hard into this Eduardo thing. Okay, because I don't see anything for a month ago. So that's a month ago they started going hard. As of 30 days, they started 1 month ago, December 23rd, 50,400. So this is the total view tendency, okay? And they started at around 50,000. Now their total view tendency is 75,000. It's up 25,000 in 1 month. Okay, so in the last 30 days, they've been kind of steady for their total sub tendency. And then we had remember that big dip we had? They dropped 10,000 subscribers. And we talked about this. This happened on a lot of channels. This is what happens when YouTube purges bots. Purchased subs, okay? You don't lose 10,000 subs because the post after that was what was the video? Last baby off to school. That's what it says. So it's not, the 10,000 dropped happened after the last baby went off to school, had nothing to do with Eduardo. So that was just a sub drop as of 10,000 subscribers because YouTube does that. So total sub tendency in the last 30 days, again, a big drop off after the school thing. There's no increase, not really. They haven't had an increase or a decrease. His view tendency went up by 25,000 in 30 days. That is a huge number, okay? I don't even get 25,000 on hardly any of my videos. They jumped it in 1 month since they started. Every time Eduardo's in there, boom, big bumps, big bump. Oh, people are starting to come watch now. So don't give me that crap. Total view increase tendency, as of a month ago, big changes. Huge jump when they put the extensions here, huge jump, okay? Dropped it back down when it wasn't about Eduardo, dropped it back up, huge when it was about Eduardo. Let's head over to Instagram, shall we? 977,000 subscribers. Okay, let's see, because he's been doing a lot on Instagram. A lot of family vloggers are going over to Instagram just because they know that YouTube is kind of a lost revenue stream for them. So yeah, he's not lying about his Instagram though. Their YouTube has grown, his Instagram has gone down. So that's the total follower tendency. That's not total, he doesn't lose followers. That's just, he's just not gaining as much. So if you go to his total following tendency, so total follower increased tendency, increased subs, he's losing hundreds of subs. So he's not lying. He's posting this and he's losing subs, but gaining engagement. So in the end, he's just losing people off of his channel that aren't really watching, but his increase in views are going up. So it needs to be said that when you lose subs, you lose more than you lose because you're not gaining. So anything you gained, if you have a negative number, it means you kind of lost more. So yeah, I'll give him that. He's losing subs on Instagram.
1,000 followers.
Yeah, so how would that make any sense?
Exactly. So like not posting about it.
Plus, you just took that picture when it was in action.
They have 2 Range Rovers. And they're like identical. Do you really need 2 of the same thing?
That wasn't even like on purpose.
Just doing it for the views.
Look at this car. Maybe it's not a Range Rover. It looks like it's something more expensive.
It's killing my feed. But I don't care because I'm like...
Because it is what it is.
So they're sitting here justifying like, it's killing my feed. This guy's gaining notoriety and his YouTube channel is growing because of it. So he says it's killing my feed, so why would I do it? Yeah, good question, bro. You're exploiting your kid and you're not gaining anything from it. And in the end, the only person that's going to suffer is Eduardo. So good question. I'd love an answer to that myself.
But it is, man. You don't like that, then...
You don't like us.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you don't like what we're doing to Eduardo, you don't like us. Well, at least we agree on something there, sacconejolys. What you're doing is wrong. That's why people don't like you. Not because of, you know, how narcissistic and dumb you guys are, but literally because of what you're doing to your kids. That's why people don't like you. So yeah, I don't like you. That's why I don't like you.
That's how I feel too.
Yeah. This thing is funny.
We talk about this jacket, it's a no for me.
Oh, it's just like...
I'm like totally willing to lose friends, subscribers, money, anything for that because...
For what? For what? To what end? They don't say what they're willing to lose it for. To what? Put out his privacy on the internet? To put out all these things about your son? You're totally willing to lose all that? Like they're trying to say, well, look, they're like humble bragging here. Like, well, we're going to lose stuff, but it's important for Eduardo that we put this on Instagram. What? In what world is this beneficial to Eduardo? How does this help Eduardo? Okay, to put it out to the public. How does it help him? It's a real question. And there might be an answer that you guys might be able to answer below in the comments. But in what way does it help him? Now you can say it helps the cause, but in what way is that his responsibility to help the cause? Or their responsibility to exploit his privacy for the cause? Okay? In the end, he could be who he's going to be inside that house without it being filmed and put on Instagram. And it would be the same for him. The love would be the same, right?
If you don't like...
Again, when they don't, she's not looking at the camera. They always do these. When they're having like problem videos made, they never look at the camera.
Think about that, then you basically
the thing is, like, you don't know. No, we didn't see that coming when we didn't have children. But, you know what I mean? It's like...
I know, I love...
What?
The whole, like, oh, it's so forced thing. It's like... Not that there's any such thing as normal, right?
Exactly.
And I bet this is, like, controversial to even say. But, like, it would be a lot easier if...
You hit it.
No.
They can't even agree on what they're saying. They're just making shit up. It'd be a lot easier if you hit it. Apparently, Eduardo's been wearing dresses for years, and you just found an algorithm and exploited it. So it's not like it's not like a new thing. He's been doing it for a long time, but you just found it at this moment in time.
I'm not saying that I want this to be true, because I don't, but
You don't want it to be true. So you do or you don't. So if you don't, she just said she doesn't want it to be true.
Just saying, like, from a mother or from a parent standpoint, it would be a lot easier if Eduardo were just like every other boy.
Like Dre.
Right?
Yeah.
Where are your kids?
It would be easier, but it's not who he is. And it actually isn't easier or harder anyway. It's just like, it is what it is. Like,
Oh my God. Where did you get your lessons in speaking? Kendall Rich? It would be easier, but it is easier. It's not easier. I don't want it to be, but I want it to be. Holy shit. Just write some notes. You don't even... The thing with family vloggers is they get so big, they get so lazy. They just turn a camera on and blabber. Like, because they don't care. They don't care about their content. They don't care about their fans. They don't care about anything. They just blabber about nothing. And it makes no sense. And people still watch it.
not a big deal, but it's just like, why would you assume that parents would force something that is actually more...
I was forced to swim as a child. Okay?
Wow. Yeah. Definitely a good comparison. A child's identity compared to you had to learn how to swim. See, this is why these people shouldn't be representing the cause, because they don't even know shit about it. The problem is Eduardo was just a normal kid. She just said, I wish he was a normal kid. He is a normal kid. My kid wears his sister's dress-up dresses and they play all the time together. They are pushing this on him and pushing this out there. Eduardo was probably just fine just wearing dresses, but then they're like, oh, you want hair extensions? You want this? If you don't think that they're feeding that into their kid, you're lying. And she's like, why would parents do that? You do it because you need content. Because you just said no parenting is normal. Yeah, and the shit that you put out there isn't normal because you have to create content that has to be different or no one will watch you. The problem with family vloggers is that every time they have to do different content, they have to change it up, It's a Bish moving to Hawaii, Ace family moving to Mexico. They change things up because the shit gets boring. And then they have to push to the next level. It keeps getting more and more provocative, right? They have to the next thing, With the Danielle Cohn thing, getting tattoos under her boobs and everything else. We're gonna talk about that soon. There's some insane things going on that parents are perpetuating this. And they're all telling the kids like it. You guys are assholes.
For like 15 years, you were forced to do piano as a child. You know what I mean? I'm like...
These people... Nope.
Don't force our kids to do anything. Just
That's so bad. My mom's gonna watch this video and she's gonna be like, I didn't force.
Do you know what I mean? But it's like, just let them be. Like, we're not saying Eduardo is bloody gay or anything. We're just saying Eduardo...
And then you go ahead and do something like this. Our kid is gay, what next? And then you just clickbait the shit out of it. So you brought people to your channel using clickbait for your son you knew was being talked about, and you just brought a guy on who was gay. So yeah, you guys are gross.
Eduardo.
And your dog's ugly.
Exactly.
Just
and
like
he has been that way since he was a...
Just kidding. Minus the whatever's on his face. He's cute.
Jonathan and Jimmy, I see people now like, oh, I knew it's because your dad's gay. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gay, guys. You got me. You know what I mean? You figured it out.
No, they say it's because I said in like one video one time.
What is the point of doing a video like this? Like, you're throwing shade at your people that are calling you out. Like, I get it. Why don't you sit down and have an honest conversation about addressing the things? Right? Instead of just like, everybody says this. And I get it. Like, it seems like it's fun to do that. And they're opinionated people, and so am I, and I get it. But like, this did nothing for you or Eduardo's cause, to be honest with you.
I always imagined myself to be a girl mom, which is true. So they're like, oh, she doesn't want to have boys, so she tries to make all of her children into girls. I'm like, that is the stupidest.
Dangerous.
Oh.
Hey. Ta-da!
Ta-da! It's out of focus!
Here, new angle. It's good.
But what a stupid thing to say! Why would any mother... Are you guys around like crazy mothers or something?
Yeah, it exists. This is why people are saying it. It does exist. There's been court cases. There's one in Texas. It happens a lot. And just to say, oh, it doesn't exist. It absolutely exists in this world of woke culture, of like pushing ahead agendas. It actually exists. And there are people who do this. There are people with mental illnesses who push certain things on their children. It absolutely exists. I'm not saying it happens all the time, but it does. And that's why people are assuming you're doing it for content, not just because you think you want girls. You guys are pushing out for content. And it cannot be ignored because you've seen the algorithm bump.
I don't know any mother that would actually do that to their children, you know? I sometimes wonder about...
When you laugh about, I don't like that. It just makes your argument dumb. It just makes your argument less sticky. Like, it just makes it like you're not taking it serious at all and just laugh it off like it's a laughable ha. It just makes you sound disingenuous.
I'm like...
Also, you'd see it. I think you'd see it.
Yeah, you would definitely
Come
see
on.
it.
And the thing is, right, the people who say stuff like that, man, they've been watching us since the beginning of time. And man, since the day that lad arrived, he's always been the same. Since the day I started vlogging, people would be like, do you remember? It's like a little track. But if you go back to the old vlogs, everyone was like, I'm the gay guy and you're my best friend.
Oh yeah, true.
That was like...
You keep saying it. People are projecting the things. And look, he's married. He's clearly not gay. So why do you keep talking about it? We don't address rumors. Let's just go on with our life. That's all they have to say.
Literally, until we had children, that was the trolling people would say all the time. And
There's
I'm
always
like,
something new. If it weren't about Eduardo, it would be about something else.
Yeah.
And like, I just feel like...
because you put your entire life on a vlog.
And then people are grasping at straws. They're like, he's too young to consent. Well, guess what? He's not. Because
Can kids consent?
No.
What? Really? That's news to psychologists and clinical psychologists and children's psychologists and therapists around the world. That's news. But thanks, Anna Saccone, professional psychologist. We appreciate your input on that.
he does consent, and the only reason we didn't show it before is because he didn't consent before.
Nice. He didn't consent before, so why did he consent now? What's changed? He didn't consent before, but did he consent to being on your vlogs the whole time? Again, so it's so funny because like he didn't consent, so I didn't put him on. But now he consents, so we put him on. At the same time, people, you're missing the whole point of consent. Cannot give informed consent. A parent can't say that their child can give consent. And when you're arguing for the fact that they do give consent, it means that you're asking for consent, which means that you're wrong, right? A lot of these parents just don't even ask. Like Jess, I gotta get into Jess fam about, she said the same thing, my kids consent. Kids can't
Well, you don't know everything that goes on behind the scenes,
And
just
then they say, you're
FYI.
like, well,
What else do we need to know? We could see you exploit your kids. Was there something we're missing?
never bring him out in public, so it's just videos. No,
We do.
he does.
We
all
do.
the time.
He went to a
But we all
swimming pool
film
in a girl's swimming costume.
As much as we used to of the children. So, like, you know, it's like, fine, we'll film everything. You all were filming your kids. Crap, don't film
Oh,
them. Why are
no.
you filming your kids?
Yeah.
I don't know anything they just said there. I have no idea what they just said. I feel dumber now.
Literally everything. So I got told that I exploit my children and I'm only showing and the only pictures I put on Instagram are of my kids. And then like I'll post a few pictures of just me, not strategically, just like because I don't act strategic.
Not because what you guys think, because it's not. You live your, like, the fact that they're doing this video means that they do that. They practice that. Wow, we're getting shit, so we gotta do this.
Like it's just there's no strategy. I'm literally just like, oh, I want to take a picture of this today,
Yeah,
or
but the problem
this works
is
today.
you're successful.
And no, but then I take a few pictures of myself, and they're like, "You're so self-obsessed. Why are you taking pictures of yourself?"
Who says that? Nothing wrong with that. Go ahead, take pictures. You make yourself feel beautiful. Take pictures. Who says that? They're just projecting. No one says that.
I'm like, I literally can't win, so I don't care about pleasing people anymore, though.
And yet here you are, doing a video addressing it all.
I literally just do whatever I want, and then
You said literally 100 times.
either you like it or you don't. And if you don't like it, then I don't know why you're following.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes
Agreed. Don't follow them, everybody. Stop watching their videos. The only way to combat this until rules are put in place, until laws are put in place, is to stop watching it. But here's the problem with that too, because if you stop watching, they're like, well, why is nobody watching it? Then they have to do something more provocative. Then they have to do something, oh, drop my kid down into a volcano by accident. Not clickbait. Story time. Like the problem is that when people finally do start catching on, and they are, and they start losing subscribers and watches and money, they're gonna come to find a different way to do it, and it's gonna get more provocative and worse. That's the problem. They're just gonna adapt and make it worse for the kids.
no sense.
Exactly.
I can think of lots of people
But
that
there is
I have no interest in following.
thousands
But
of YouTube, other families like us sharing our story, and on Instagram and TikTok and wherever. So just go and find you. Go and find the family that relates to you, the creator that relates to you.
Don't follow any family vloggers. That's the thing. None of them are relatable. They're all full of shit and lies and bullshit and fakery and dumbassness.
be
And
your
then-
own you.
Yeah.
Be your own you.
There's lots of fun.
Amazing. This is an amazing vlog. Incredible. So, I mean, there you go. They're just addressing the haters with a Z, and they're just going on and doing what they're going to do. But at the same time, props for Jonathan. He is not lying. His Instagram does lose followers. For sure. When he posts, I'm not sure if it's just because of the Edward thing. I imagine it is because of it, but their YouTube channel is growing. So I think the idea isn't that people are against transgenderism or whatever it is, or your fans are. I think that your fans are starting to catch on that you're exploiting your kid outside of the normal exploitation of most family vloggers. What you're doing here is resonating through your fans who liked you, not because they don't think that Eduardo should be who he is. I think that you're missing the point. I think you're just projecting that. You're like, well, we're losing followers because they hate him for his choices. When in the fact is that they hate you for your choices and the fact that you're exploiting your child. People are starting to say, okay, I cannot be part of this exploitation any longer. That's the problem. And they don't want to talk about that. Right? In the end, people are starting to wake up to this stuff and they're just projecting it on, oh, it's your fault. It's your fault. Why don't you just not do that? Again, it just continues to get more provocative, continues to do the thing that they're saying. And then they get on the videos and make fun of people. If I post a picture of myself, then they make fun of me. Everybody makes fun of you because you guys are terrible people. Like, you're just gross because of what you do on this vlog. Because of who you are, the cold showers and the grossness and the full-on exploitation and buying Ferraris and 2 Range Rovers and expensive vehicles and living this way outside of your means. The family vlogging gravy train is like slowing right down right now. Okay, the big top echelon ones, the Brants and Ace family, they'll be okay probably for a little longer, but it's slowing down. Okay, and they're starting to just fight back with their rhetoric in these videos to say, well, this, you know, don't come at us, let us be who we're going to be. But until we get these kids off, until protections are put in place like France did, like if you didn't watch the video about last Friday's full ed, where France is putting in legislation to protect kids on YouTube specifically, on the internet. And that is amazing. And that's coming down the pipe. It's just the natural thing for that's next because everybody's waking up to the exploitation. As soon as it starts becoming a really mainstream conversation, and it really is right now, that's when things will be changed. Unfortunately, it takes a lot longer to do big changes like this, but at least it's happening because we're going to start seeing long-term ramifications for these teenagers as they get older. So just wanted to cover that a little bit today just because what they're saying is a lie and what they're doing is inappropriate. Because it's not Eduardo's responsibility to be the head of a cause, right? It's not their responsibility to use their child to put him in the forefront of this for the cause. And that's what they're alluding to. Be yourself, just be yourself. Nobody can be their self when they're on a camera 24 hours a day. I'm sorry, you guys vlog too much. Your life is terrible and your shit's bad and you should feel bad. So there it is today, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this vlog. Follow me on Instagram. I will not post pictures of my kids in dresses on there. And that helps my voice to grow, though. That helps this conversation to keep going. Head over to Instagram and just help me grow that platform. I would really appreciate it. Also, take that like button and like punch it in the face. And like and subscribe. Hit the little bell or don't. I don't really care. You guys are my therapy, and I hope you have an incredible day. I hope you understand that your value and your identity is yours, and that you should protect the kids around you, and that everybody needs to be loved. Every single person. And so what you do with your life is really important. Man. Those leggings you're wearing are super attractive and stuff. So I hope you guys have an incredible day. I will see you probably on the Snark channel because it's a slow day. See ya.